Yeah, g'day, and welcome to the third video of my camping survival gear. This one's now covering the other survival equipment that I like to carry. This is a diagonal pouch. Don't ask me how many litres capacity it is. It's got the advantage that you can wear it on your front while you're wearing a pack, your main camping pack, and this will act as a balance bag. It stays out of the way, yet everything that I might need is right here in front of me, including in the front zip pocket a small first aid kit. The main compartment can easily be reached, and that's where a lot of the rest of the survival gear goes. Also, it's where I would carry my lunch. In here I'd have my lunch and some extra emergency survival rations on hand. So when I stop for a break on the trail, can eat some lunch, get my cigarettes and lighter out as well. And this thing stays with me at all times, so when I get to the campsite I can drop the main pack off. I can then swing this around and wear it across my back. The strap here is also adjustable and it cinches in quite nicely, and I can actually wear it as a second belt. And now I'll start covering what sort of stuff is actually in here. I've moved up to this because my survival gear that I want to carry no longer fits in this. Okay, we already covered that the first aid kit was in the front pouch of that. So from the main pouch I have a folding Windcheater, single layer nylon, folds into its own pocket, small and compact, and if the wind picks up or it starts to rain, this is the first thing I grab out and put on, because I can stand getting a bit wet, but if I get wet and there's a cold wind, then I start to chill down really fast. So that'll keep the wind off me and take that wind chill factor out. A emergency survival bag, you climb into these things. I'm trying to get it so there's no light reflecting on it. You climb into it as a sort of emergency sleeping bag, goes along with the survival blanket that I carry in my survival pouch. GPS, got it wrapped up in a little plastic bag. I've actually put the local New Zealand topo maps on here, so although they don't have route information, I can at least find out exactly where I am down to the last 25 metres or so. Small amount of toilet paper. This is a survival bag, carrying that with me could be kind of handy. If the worst came to the worst, at least it's a source of dry tinder. Sunglasses in case. Yep, I remember the 80s, do you? Torches. First one's a small compact headlamp. It's got two positions. One gives you the white light, the other is a red map reading light. And it can also stand up on a flat surface if you wish it to. And of course when you're wearing it, you can tilt it down to shine on whatever it is you want. small aluminium tactical style torch, just a cheapie, but it does the job. Pretty rugged, LED rather than incandescent. I've gotten rid of all incandescent torches. The bulbs don't last and they suck the living daylights out of the batteries. This is a dynamo torch. I had one like this once upon a time, and it was the thing that got us out of the bush late at night in the middle of a storm, worse than the storm that's going on behind me at the moment actually. And we walked out in the pitch black, and the only thing that we had that lasted the distance was a dynamo torch that you sit, and you have to keep going because it stops otherwise. But basically, endless power supply, and in this case it's LED. The predecessor was an incandescent one, but I replaced it with this. So we're looking at 100,000 hours of life on the LEDs themselves, and much better economy of power. Notebook and pen, once again in a plastic bag. Keeping notes for yourself to remember important things. Also, you might want, if you're passing through a hut, you've at least got pen and paper to leave a message for anybody else that might be following you. Survival manual. How to survive in the bush, on the coast, in the mountains of New Zealand. Written by Brian Hildreth, who is in the Air Force. Flight Lieutenant Brian Hildreth, Royal New Zealand Air Force. And it's quite an old book, but the information in there is just as valid. They haven't discovered that hoo-hoo beetles are poisonous yet, so if it says you can eat it, you can probably eat it. Warm clothes. Basically, warm dry socks, some thin selate lined fingerless gloves, fleece beanie, keep my head warm, lightweight full finger gloves, polypropylene, and a pair of thermal gloves to go over the top if it gets really cold, layering up, and a couple of layers of polypropylene balaclava. They're very, very small, thin and lightweight. You can actually letting you see through them. They're that thin, but when you put both of them on, you're trapping extra layers of air and you're keeping yourself warm. So basically, that's the contents of that survival bag, which can be carried at all times. It's extremely light, and as I say, I put my lunch in it and some emergency rations, and if I'm wandering off to go and get some firewood, I can sling it over my back. I can swing it down and turn it into a fanny pack, as the Americans call it, or a bum bag as we call it. Have it around my waist, give my arms free, and I can go and just gather firewood. And if anything goes wrong, if I fall down an embankment or take a wrong turn coming back with the firewood, at least I've got warm clothes, food, survival equipment. I've got my belt holder on, I've got my EDC in my pockets, and I've got other essentials there. Oops, I found something else that I had in my survival pack that I'd forgotten about, and that is 3 large plastic rubbish bags, rolled up, fastened with a couple of rubber bands. They sit in there. They are great for emergencies. the worst comes to the worst, you can crawl into one as a partial sleeping bag, though I've got the proper survival bag for that. But they'll make makeshift shelter if you slice them open. You can cut them up and make them into makeshift rainwear if you want to. If you needed to carry anything for whatever reason, they'll carry it. They'll even act as a bucket. They can carry water, quite clean, unused, and every person who's going up camping should carry 2 or 3 rubbish bags just bundled up, stuck into their pack. And that pretty much covers it for the survival gear. And the next videos are going to be regarding the main camping equipment, the Line 3 sustainment stuff. But that will be on another night. So until then, good night.